Hey Tobias, how are you, buddy?
Good, how you doing, Brian?
Living the dream. We've got the Pig Podcast, Platinum Investment Group with Tobias Smulders.
Realtor extraordinaire.
Oh, and massively extraordinary.
Brian Hogbin.
Mortgage broker, super ninja, loan, I was going to say loan arranger, but I think that's already taken.
Loan arranger.
Oh yeah, sorry, that guy already got it. Anyways,
I love it.
We won't infringe on his grass there. Yeah, so we were going to talk about
Mortgage
rates.
Interest rates. Yeah.
Interest rates. You know what?
Interest rates. They're a funny thing.
I'm actually super excited right now because this is the first time in 9 years where the only thing we've had to talk about is mortgage rates.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Normally, there's been like over the past 9 years, we've had a major mortgage rule change. We had high ratio stress tests, low ratio stress tests, 35 years down to 30-year AMs, all this different stuff. So I'm actually tickled pink to just be talking about mortgage rates.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a normal it's a normal conversation. Rates go up, rates go down. Dogs bark, babies cry, rates go up and down.
Yeah.
Right? So what are you seeing the rates at right now? Have you seen mortgage rates recently?
Yeah, I just got flipped one of my privates out into conventional A lending.
Nice.
And was able to get around 3.6 on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For rental. So it's still so low compared
Yeah.
to my first mortgage was 10 years ago. We were at over 5.5, and my dad's like, "Oh, take it and run. You should lock in forever. That's so cheap."
I know.
And now, if you tell somebody 5.5%, they hit the roof.
Yeah, well, that's like our B World Trust Company subprime rates right now is 5.5. Sometimes it's anywhere between 4.5% and 5.5%, and that's still considered. I would say if you're looking at interest rates over the whole and on average, that's where rates should be around the 5% mark. That's healthy.
Yeah.
I remember when I got my first house, I was paying 6.75% on my house. Yeah, brutal, right? But it was $160,000, right? So
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something too, and I have this conversation a lot with people because even though rates are really good right now, they're actually very competitive. We're still in a lower interest rate environment. I think we've been spoiled a little bit.
Yes.
Because over the past 2-3 years, we've had people at the 2.5%, 2%, and you're just like, that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like free money.
It's not sustainable.
Right.
That's
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So for it to be at 3.5%, 3.7% for good bank money, that's still awesome. It's
Mega
still
cheap.
wicked cheap, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But going back to you mentioned it, and I love this because me and you are both big advocates for borrowing private money to invest.
Totally.
And a lot of people are scared shitless about it, right? Would you say?
Yeah. People are like, I don't want that. They haven't even heard what it is, don't know, I think, enough about it. And it's education overcomes fear.
Yes.
I think mostly people are fearful.
Yeah.
That was one of our first podcasts.
Yeah.
And
totally.
once you know a little bit more about it and the concept behind it and how it's going to play into your plan, then it's possible to make an educated decision. But you can't just say, no, I don't like that. It's like Brussels sprouts. Kids look at them and say, oh, I don't like those. They're gross. Well, you've never had them, so you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Or dress them up and put them on a taco, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're really good. Sorry. Anyways, it's getting close to dinner time.
Yes.
I agree though, and both of us like borrowing money privately. It depends on where you want to go. Like I'm not a fan of leveraging up an entire portfolio privately.
No.
Right? But strategically, yes. Right?
Yes.
You've done flips on private.
Yep.
I've done flips on private money as well too.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
It becomes a factor of the borrowing.
It's a cost to do business.
Cost to do business. You know, you borrow the money, you know exactly what the cost is going to be.
Yep.
And you just factor it into your calculations when you're making a decision to purchase or not purchase your project.
Yep. And I see a lot of times now, we've got a lot of good clients. Interesting stat, Home Trust, typically been a B lender. You know, everybody's like, you Home Trust. And
Yes.
like, their average credit score is right now for their clients?
Higher than mine.
I won't go there. It's probably higher than both of ours, right? Their average score used to be the shit lender, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I remember.
but their average credit score right now is 720.
Jesus,
So
that's definitely higher than all my tenants.
Yeah, I know. It's
720. Oh my God.
So what happens now is we've got this whole pool of clients, self-employed people, commission salespeople that used to get qualified through banks who are investors who now can't get qualified. So now they're going to a place like Home Trust and they're lending out money for 4.25%, 4.5%.
Wow.
Right.
At a premium at 4.5%,
Yes!
which is still mega cheap.
And I just can't help but say, how fucking spoiled are we? You know, to think like, okay, I was paying 2.5 or 3%, and it's like, and I get passionate about this, right?
Yes.
Because when you look at the appreciation on your asset, right? Like, how much is your $400,000? Like, how much did real estate go up last year? Would you say, give or take? And last year was kind of
price. Yeah,
it wasn't a great year,
price.
right?
Hamilton was up like, I think we just did this in our meeting. Was the sale price? The number of sales is down, but our sale price is still up like around 1.5–2%. So it's not huge gains, but if we do a net 5-year benefit on something, you know, we're up over 100% in almost any area, and some areas up 125%. So more than doubled in a 5-year span.
That's huge.
It's crazy.
And when you look at that, right? So if you got a $400,000 property and it went up, even say 2%, that's $8,000, right? And if you had to put down on a rental property 20% anyways, you got a mortgage of $320,000. If you're paying 4.5%, you're still in a net positive equity position, significantly more than if you would have waited to try and get a bank rate a year from now.
Yes.
Right? Because the 400,000 would have gone up by, what do we say, 2%? That's
2%.
$8,000.
Yeah.
Your principal pay down, you're still paying down principal if you're paying 4.5 or 5% to the tune of probably $7–8,000 a year.
Yeah.
So now that difference is that's a $16,000 net difference.
Yeah.
And if you pay a 1% premium, 1%
we
premium.
can tell you your number one a couple different ways.
Yeah, we'll show you this way.
This
right?
way.
I'll even show you two. 1% is $3,200.
Yes.
So 16,000 minus 32 is, I don't know, positive, right? And 16,000 minus 2%, 64, you're still positive. So it's like when I look at...
You're still up 10 grand.
Oh, man. So as opposed to if you would have said, I don't want to buy.
I don't want to buy.
My rate's too high.
I'm waiting until I qualify for that bank, CIB 1, 2, 3, 8.
Are they still in business?
No,
CIB.
CIBC was good for me.
Yeah,
absolutely. They give me one. But Scotia, we'll give them a shout out. They hold a lot of my stuff.
I know.
I have to be kind to them.
But you built up so much equity and net worth by taking those risks, though. You know, not listening to someone saying, wait, right? Like,
well, this is to me the biggest thing with investment property is there is nothing that leverages the same way, and I'm all about leverage. And it's the we talked about $400,000 house, you put 80 grand in, and over the course of 5 years, you know, we'll say 50% increase. So you grow $200,000 from 80 grand in 5 years. It more than
that's 300%. 16. Yeah, give
it's
or take
almost 300%. Yeah, almost triple your money in 5 years. There is nothing I can think of that would do that, and that's strictly only talking about the appreciation, not even the cash flow or what's paid down on the mortgage. So by the time you factor that in, you're way over 3 times and probably pushing 4 times. And if you're just getting started out, you move from your primary that has 5% into it, which might be a $300,000 if you take 15 grand, and turn that into a $500,000 house 5 years down the road. You made 200 grand from 15. There's nothing you can do that with.
That's almost unbelievable. That almost sounds like a lie. That almost sounds like
we're cheating.
Completely full of shit.
And if it's too confusing, come see us at one of our seminars, and we will draw it out.
We will dazzle you with numbers.
Dazzle you with numbers and draw it out and it's unbelievable when you look at it.
But don't get, and me and Tobias are so passionate about it, don't get hung up on the rate, okay? And I get it, rate's important, cash flow's important, right? Because I believe you can't have a portfolio of negative cash flow properties because it's
too tough.
It's not good, right? Unless you're making $1 gazillion like Tobias,
right?
Oh
my goodness.
Right? But if you have one or you have two that are non-performing, strategically, and then you're going to build up the equity in it, because as your equity gets better, you're going to have a better opportunity to refinance at a better rate 1 year, 2 year, 3 or 4 years down the line.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So don't let the rate scare you on this, and don't let it deviate you from your master plan.
Yes.
Like I tell people all the time, right now I'm refinancing a property. I'm breaking one term at 4%.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go up to 5.25%.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't love it, but it's still like I'm going to be in a very, very close cash flow position.
Yep.
However, it's going to allow me to pull out $250,000 from a property.
Can't argue with that.
Right. So now, what can I do with that $250,000 now? Can I make more than 5.25%?
Yeah. Or can you make more than the difference of what you're paying? What is your monthly?
Totally.
$500.
Well, that's
Can you take 250 grand and make it make $500? I hope so.
See, see, that's
Yeah.
You know what? You make a good mortgage broker too, Tobias, right? But it's true.
Sign me up.
I got here.
I'll take mortgage you.
Okay, there you go. But it's true. Think about how you can make that money, and don't let the rate fool you, because
it's like sticker shock. People get that from the rate, I find.
Yeah.
And it's once you really break it down into what is it actually.
Yeah.
It takes away some of those concerns.
It's leverage and risk.
Yes.
And what we talked about today, because I just have to throw it in, it's progress.
Progress.
Too.
Yes,
it's all about progress. Buying your rental properties, maybe borrowing at a little bit higher rate sometimes. You're progressing towards financial security, towards retirement, towards that pension, right? Don't wait for the perfect rate.
Yes, and let's talk quickly about privates too.
Yeah.
You get incredible flexibility with those that you wouldn't get with A and B lending too.
Very true.
You know, sometimes if you have a great portfolio, you don't have to put down 20%.
True.
And avoid CMHC still.
True.
That was one of the huge benefits for me when I did it.
Yeah.
We still had to put money in, but it wasn't the area that the B lenders wanted to be in.
Well, you know what?
So there's no.
You raise a great point on that too, because once upon a time, because I'm turning 40 this year, so I know way back in the day, you could buy a rental property with 10% down.
Yes.
Let's imagine that you're buying a property with 10% down today. You have to pay a Canada Mortgage and Housing Insurance premium of 3%.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a property for $400,000, let's say you're getting a mortgage of $400,000, that's $12,000 in a fee that you have to pay. If you're paying costs in a private mortgage and you're able to get 85 or 90% financing and you have to pay $10,000 or $12,000 in fees, it's the same racket.
Totally.
It's the same thing. Right?
Exactly.
So, and it's just how it's branded. It's another private lender taking the risk, as opposed to Canada Mortgage and Housing taking the risk. Why can they get away with it all the time?
Yeah, because it's hidden.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's expected.
Or it's expected, or the norm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a great point on private leveraging, private financing. I think don't be scared of it. Be knowledgeable about it. Have an exit strategy. Know where you're going to go, but don't make it an automatic no, because you're the one that's going to miss out, right?
Totally. And it's better to be in than to be out. I think in the real estate realm, you're better to have it under your belt and then figure out what you're going to do from there. Whether it's exit out with a private, do your flip and sell it. Exit out with a B lender or an A lender once you gain equity, or whatever you plan to do with it, or even just hold it if it's close to cash flowing, or net neutral. It's still a great investment. I think you can't go wrong owning it.
Yeah,
bricks and mortar and the dirt.
Totally.
That's all. That's what it all is.
No, I agree, and I think it's a long-term strategy, right?
Totally.
Like we're both committed to that long-term strategy. The longer you're going to have it, the more it's going to build.
Yes.
Right. There may be a bad year somewhere in between.
Naturally.
Don't sell.
Don't sell.
Don't sell in a bad year.
Don't sell. And you don't hear a lot of real estate agents say, don't sell.
True.
I'm here for you.
See?
Don't sell.
See?
Rent it.
This guy is authentic, right?
Authentic.
And I'm telling you 100% leverage the shit out of it, okay?
Yes,
I am telling you that. And it's only because I care, because there's good debt and bad debt. Good debt is on your rental property. It's tax deductible. Bad debt is on your primary residence. I always say leverage up your rental properties as much as possible. Pay down your primary residence, okay? Get yourself mortgage free, then re-borrow, okay? That's for another time. If you want to talk about it, we can. Awesome. We good?
I think that's good. I think that about covers it. We got to be moving along. So, 15 minutes, perfect. That's what we like.
Right on.
So we're gonna sign off.
Yeah.
And
we need a fun sign off.
Fun sign off. For now, we'll use MI35s.
All right.
Make today a fabulous day.
Make it a fabulous day.
Make it a fabulous day.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
You got it, brother.